Good morning and welcome back to the channel. It is now Sunday, November the 2nd, and today I have a very interesting article out of the great state of Maine, where an alternative form of punishment or detention for some kids in school is having an unusually positive effect. This may not sound like a good news article, but it kind of is. So if you are a teacher or someone with children in school or grandkids in school, or if you or someone who's interested in this sort of thing, this would be a good news article for you. I thought it was interesting and a good news sort of thing because I'm always interested in better ways to help people do the right thing. I don't always think that we get punishment or corrective training right when it comes to children in schools or prison reform and things like that. So I'm always on the lookout for better ways to do things like that. And I thought when I ran across this and I read it, I thought, hey, this is a novel approach to helping kids understand their mistakes and making better choices. So I'm going to talk about this briefly, and I'll put a link in the description box as always. And then, as usual, I'll put a few, I think, nice quotes for you guys. I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope that you finish strong on this Sunday. And I hope that the beginning of your week on Monday is great. And I hope that November is a monumentally positive, great month for all of us. Okay, so here we go. This is called Maine School Takes New Approach to Detention, Sending Misbehaving Students on a 3-mile Hike. The innovative approach to behavioral intervention seems to be helping in multiple ways. And there is a video that goes along with this, and it is a pretty nice video. It's not very long, so I hope that you will click on the video and watch it too. It actually has some of the students that have been involved in this project in Maine. So please watch the video. It's a very good video. Okay, so here we go. School detention has long been a method of managing, or at least attempting to manage, student behavior. The idea being that forcing kids who clearly don't love being in school to spend even more hours being bored out of their gourd in a classroom might make them change their ways. The efficacy of detention has long been debated among educators and administrators, but one high school in Maine has started providing an alternative to traditional detention that has people buzzing. Morris High School in Bath, Maine, I've been to Bath, Maine, gives students who have been broken in detention-worthy rule a choice. Spend 3 hours sitting around doing nothing in a classroom, or join the school counselor for a 3.5-mile hike. For some, that might sound more like a reward than a punishment, but there's an intention behind the hike option that makes some sense from a behavioral perspective. School counselor Leslie Trundy started the program in 2024 after attending an outdoor education conference. She includes some reading of nature poetry during the hike and routinely invites students to join the outdoor club she started at the school. Trundy told Maine Public Radio that she wondered whether spending time in nature might get kids to open up about problems they're dealing with in their lives. My hope was that time in the woods, like I could sort of take the skills that I have on the road with them or on the trail and be a listener for them and pay back the time to the school and sort of serve their consequence, but also receive more care and attention, said Trundy. It's been so incredible for me personally, making connections with students I wouldn't normally get to talk with, she told CBS 13. Being a listener to them, finding out what's important to them, kind of what's going on in their lives. Some have criticized the approach as not being an appropriate punishment, and some parents have refused to allow their kids to choose the hiking option. But according to some of the students who have participated, the hike isn't exactly a walk in the park compared to just sitting around. Sometimes the hike feels really like a punishment for them, even though they've chosen it, Trundy told NPR. Like they might have chosen it because it was a lessening sentence, but it didn't feel like it when they're having to expend effort. Nicholas Tanguay, a student who was assigned detention for yelling at a teacher, concurred. But he also said the hiking offers an opportunity to reflect in a way that detention in a classroom doesn't. It makes me have to walk. It makes you breathe heavily, obviously, and it feels like an accomplishment, almost, the student said. I think that maybe it's also good for people's mental health. I mean, in general, nature and hikes are just really good for people's mentality. So maybe you've had a bad day. The option to do this after knowing you have a detention means you have to dread it less. Yeah, that's a good statement by a young man. Dreading detention less may not seem like the desired outcome. Dreading detention is kind of the whole part of detention. But the question we need to ask is whether hiking is a more effective way of altering student behavior than traditional punishment. Kids misbehave for many reasons, some of which may be better addressed with time outdoors, physical exercise, mentoring by a caring adult, and a sense of community than sitting for 3 hours doing nothing. In fact, some of the students who have done the hiking detention have since joined Trundy's Outdoor Club, going on hikes that aren't required and gaining the benefits of their own accord. I won't read all of the article. There's a quote at the end that says, I think the real answer is that kids of all ages need recess, outdoor time. A lot of my middle schoolers aren't awful. They just have energy to burn and would benefit from running around for 15 minutes every day. Maybe nature hikes and outdoor brain breaks could be offered as part of the school day for all students. I bet we'd see fewer kids in detention. The microbiome of trees and plants works with all our biology to reduce anxiety and depression. Time outdoors has shown to help reduce ADHD symptoms and improve focus. That is true. When we take recess away or don't offer outdoor time, we exacerbate problems. And the last thing I'll read here is, considering how many students get detention multiple times, trying an alternative to help them regulate themselves and make better choices probably isn't a bad idea. Here's to educators trying innovative approaches to help students reach their fullest potential. And there is more to the article than what I've read, so please go check it out and watch the video. It is a very good video also. I am all about healthy alternative forms of corrective training, not necessarily punishment, but corrective training for kids and repeat offenders in the prison system and things like that. Certainly when we do things that we shouldn't do, we need to be corrected for that. But I don't think that throughout our history as human beings, we've always chosen the wisest courses of action when it comes to things like that. So let me know in the comments what you think about that, and if you have some better ideas for alternative methods other than just detention or suspension or stuff like that. So here are a couple of quotes I think that go along with stuff like that. Albert Einstein, look deep into nature and then you will understand everything better. Ralph Waldo Emerson, adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience. William Shakespeare, the earth has music for those who listen. Absolutely. Nature always wears the colors of the spirit. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Yeah, what a fantastic man quote. John Keats, a magnificent poet. The poetry of the earth is never dead. Absolutely. And then the last one from here. In all things of nature, there is something of the marvelous. Aristotle said that. That is true, very true. And that is probably what will lead to helping troubled youth and things like that. And then I'll end today with this. Just one quote from the Bible today, but it really says a lot. By the word of the Lord the heavens were made, their starry host by the breath of his mouth. Psalm 33:6. I love that one. It reminds me of a Van Gogh Starry Night painting, which is one of my favorite of all time of any artist. So I hope you got something out of today. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Get ready for an amazing week. Remember, God is real. He loves you. He's everywhere you are, everywhere you're going to be. And I love you too. And we'll see you next time.